morning, everybody. We'll begin today's session. The first question, how many different types of symbols appear in the figure which is provided here? You're given here a matrix, which is of a 9 by 9 matrix. You have to identify how many different types of symbols appear in this matrix. Okay, that's a question. So this is a solution for it. In this matrix, you can find 26 different types of symbol. I have marked all the different types of symbols as here, attached here. Okay, we'll move to the next one. You're given here another matrix, which is from A to I. What is asked as a question is, how many different ways are there to get from tile A, which is here, to get from tile A, which is here, to tile I, which is here, without visiting a tile more than once, if only horizontal and vertical movements are allowed. You cannot visit a tile more than once. You are allowed only horizontal and vertical movements. The goal is to move from tile A to tile I. Okay, which are the different ways of moving, that is what we have to identify. So these are all the possible ways of moving from tile A to I. First is ADGHI, next is ADGH, EBCFI, and so on. So I have so far identified 12 different ways. There are no other ways besides this, without the condition that we are not repeating any tiles. Okay, we'll move to the next one. There are some men and women in a group. Each person shakes hands with exactly one other person in the entire group. After this round of handshakes, 8 men and 4 women find that they shook hands with someone of the same gender. The total number of handshakes exchanged in the entire group was 87. At most means maximum, how many women can there possibly be in this group? We're given here certain condition of a meeting where every person shakes hands with exactly one other person, all right? We also know that 8 men and 4 women shook hands with people of the same gender. Also, we know the total number of handshakes, which was 87. We have to find the maximum number of women that will be there in this group. Okay? So the 8 men handshake will be equivalent to 4 handshakes like this. Okay? So 4 men handshakes, because they are shaking hand with the same gender. So that will be equal to 4 handshakes. Also, the 4 women will shake hand with each other, and they are shaking hand once only. So there will be 2 handshakes. Okay. So total handshakes happen of same gender. So I'm writing same gender handshake will be 4 plus 2, which is 6. Total handshakes I know, which is 87. So remaining handshakes between different gender will be 87 minus 6, which is 81. So what this means is 81 handshakes will be happening between 1 man and 1 woman. So therefore, women in the group will be 81 women here plus the previous 4 women, which makes it a total of 85 women in the group. Okay, the correct answer is 85. We'll move to the next one. At most, how many spheres of same size can be placed around a same size sphere at the center so that all simultaneously touch the sphere at the center? We are given a sphere at the center. We have to identify how many maximum number of spheres can we organize around that center sphere so that all the spheres are touching the center sphere. Okay. So the organization that will happen is something like this, where there will be, where the center sphere that I'm talking about is this. This is the center sphere. The 6 spheres will be organized in the same plane. and then 3 spheres on top, and then 3 spheres will be happening on the bottom. That makes a total of 12 spheres that can be organized around the center sphere where they simultaneously touch each other, and they have to be of the same size. Okay, we'll move to the next one. A water tank of dimension 20 by 5 by 10 has 307 cc of water. A few bricks, each of dimension 5 by 2 by 1, are fully submerged. Each brick absorbs 30% of its own volume of water. Just enough bricks are put in such that the water level rises to completely fill the tank. How many bricks were put in the tank is what you have to identify. Okay. So we'll first find the volume of the tank. Volume of tank will be 20 into 5 into 10. That makes a total of 1000 cc. We know volume of water is already given. Existing volume of water in tank is 307 cc. So remaining volume to be filled will be equal to 1000 minus 307, which is 693 cc is yet to be filled. Now, what we also know is brick ka volume. So volume of brick will be 5 into 2 into 1, which is 10 cc. We also know one brick absorbs 30% of its volume. If the brick is absorbing 30% of its volume, then 70% is responsible for the rise in water level. So the rise in water level, sorry, this is volume. Volume of rise in water level by one brick will be equal to 10 minus 30% of 10, because 30% is getting absorbed. So this will be equal to 10 minus 3, which is 7 cc, which means one brick will give rise to 7 cc equivalent volume of water. Rise in 7 cc equivalent volume of water. Okay. So the number of bricks required will be 693, which is remaining volume, upon 7, which is the rise in water level, volume of rise in water level, which will yield 99 bricks required to be filled in the water tank, so that the water level rises to completely fill the tank. Okay, we'll move to the next one. You're given here a graphic. You have to count the total number of black diamonds in the pattern. Okay, there are these black diamonds that are happening. You have to count the total number of black diamonds that are there in the graphic. Okay. The total number of black diamonds that are there are 12. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and then 12. There are total 12 black diamonds that are there in this graphic. Okay, we'll move to the next one. A polygonal shape moves through a series of numbered tiles as shown in the figure. The shape transforms itself at every tile according to the rules. These are all the rules that are given here. There can be one or more transformations at any given tile. You can have one or more transformations. And choose the, after it comes out, you have to choose the polygon from the options below that will be resulted after going through all the tiles. Okay. So this is how the transformation happens. Pentagon gets transformed to heptagon because at even numbers we are adding one side, and also it is divisible by 2, so one more side gets added. So heptagon heptagon, which is a 7-sided, gets transformed to a square, which is a 4-sided one. Why? Because 9 diya hai. If the number is divisible by 3, remove one side. Also, we are given odd number ho, so then 2 side gets removed. So 1 plus 2, 3 side gets removed. From 9 to 8, it can transform to hexagon because plus 2 gets added. So here it's minus 3, here it's plus 2. From hexagon to square, it gets transformed because again 2 gets removed. because 5 is an odd number, but it's not divisible by 3. So at least rule number 2 gets applied. So minus 2 will come. From square, it gets transformed to a hexagon. So plus 2 because it's divisible by 2 and also it's an even number because of that. Further, from 2, it gets hexagon, say it gets converted to hexagon. Minus 2 gets added because again it's an odd number. So 2 sides gets removed. From this, from square, it becomes a pentagon because 6 is divisible by 2, divisible by 3, and it is also an even number. So we are adding 2, and then we are we are adding 2 side, and then we are removing 1 side. So plus 3 gets plus 1 gets added. Okay. From pentagon, it becomes a triangle because it's an odd number. So because pentagon minus 2 will be 3. So यहाँ पे minus 2 आएगा. From triangle, it becomes a pentagon again. Why? Because 2 is an odd, one side gets added because it's an even number, and also it is divisible by 2 again. So plus 2 gets added. The triangle becomes a pentagon. So at the end, we'll get a pentagon. Now we don't have to look at rule number 5 or 6 here because all the options are of the same color. So the correct answer is option D, which is a pentagon that is of yellow in color. Okay, we'll move to the next one. Three-sided sides, each with circles and connecting lines, show 3 faces of a 3-dimensional cube. Choose the correct option that corresponds to a cube with the 3 sides that are shown below. We are given here top, left, and right side of a cube. So we are given here top, left, and right side of a cube. Also, we are given a cube here for our reference. This is the cube that is given for our reference. When I look at this cube from the top side, I'll find all the white circles getting formed. When I look at it from the left side, I will see 3 rows of black spots and then 1 row of white. So is the case when I look at it from the right side. With this cube as a reference, we are given here top, left, and right side of a different cube. We have to identify which of the options, which of the cubes in the option A, B, C, or D represents the top, left, and right side of this cube. Okay. So let's compare the options first. When you compare all the options together, this is the one part that is different in all the 4 options. B or C, it's same, but A and D are very different. When you compare or try to find out where that part happens, we have to look at the right side view. That part happens here, which has a black spot on top and a white spot at the bottom and a connecting line. So A wrong hai because A has all black. D wala bhi galat hai because the line is missing. Now between B and C, they both are fine. There's no problem. When you compare B and C together, we try to find another difference. So when I compare B and C together, what I find is, I find this much part to be different in B and C. Baki sab same hai. So what is that? Is the difference is of 1 line. So I have to check whether that line will be there or not there. Now that line is happening when the left and the right side view come together. When the left and the right side view come together, which is here in this much part, this part that you see here is what we are looking for. So yes, there will be a line that will be there connecting here. There will be one line that will be there that is connecting here, which is not there in B. So B galat hai, and option C is the one which is the correct answer. Okay, we'll move to the next one. From the given options, you have to choose the correct shoe sole that pairs with the sole shown on the left. We're given here a sole for reference. We have to identify which is the correct shoe sole that fits with this shoe sole. Okay. Now in this case, the easiest way out is to again compare the options with each other. When I compare all the options with each other, there's one from top to bottom. If I go, there's one peculiar thing that I find in option B, which is different, is this white line, which is there here. This is slightly smaller compared to what the reference figure shows. and also what A, B, and C shows. So D में वो छोटा है, so D is wrong. Between A, B, and C, again, when I compare all the options together, what I find is this part which is slightly different in A, and also this part which is slightly different in A. A may, if I just look at this one, this part which is happening here, आपका क्वेश्चन रेफरेंस फिगर में नीचे वाला बड़ा है, ऊपर वाला छोटा है. ए में वो ऊपर वाला थोड़ा बड़ा है, नीचे वाला थोड़ा छोटा है, so A is wrong. Between B and C, when you compare it together, what we find different is happening in this much part. The neck that is formed between B in B is a little bit narrower versus that in C. Now, when I look at the question figure, I find this reference figure here, I find that B wala galat hai, henceforth C is the correct answer. Okay, we'll move to the next one. A circular palette with 3 pigment colors of the same quantity are mixed in the sequence below. Choose the correct resultant color from this option. When I mix all these 3 palettes together, which is the resultant palette that will be formed is what I have to find. When I add 2 yellow and 1 blue together, what I get is a lighter green tone. So B gets eliminated. Now, in the next part, when I add 1 red and 2 pieces of yellow together, I get an orange tone, which is lighter orange tone. If there was only 1 yellow part present, then I would have got some color like this, but it's not there. So C gets eliminated here. A and D, when I look at it, I have 1 portion yellow, 1 portion red, and 1 portion blue. When I add all of them together, I get a darker brown tone, which is this. We find it only when there are 2 sets of yellow tone that would have been given. Only then this was possible. Because we don't have 2 sets of yellow, we just have 1 set of yellow. The correct answer is option D, and A is wrong. So D is the correct answer. Okay. With this, I will end today's session here. Thank you so much for your time.